Yeah, no, that's what I mean. I'm not meaning like this. It's just like I'm tired.
No, literally. Look at that. Okay, cool.
Did Peyton and Taylor tell you the lowdown on that comic that I will not name? And if I do name, you really need to bleep this? Okay, that's fine. I'm still going to talk but I'm just not going to name him or like let anyone guess who it is. But did Taylor and Peyton tell you about that at like the very end of the night?
What happened?
There was this one dude that was just creeping around all night long. When we were upstairs doing our thing upstairs that everyone was doing upstairs.
Yeah.
Like, he was already blackout at this point. I'm pretty sure he was blackout when he was at Outfit.
Right.
And then, I don't know who the told him about this party, but they made a serious cardinal rule break with that. Because no one knew who this guy... I mean, I know who he is, but, like, no one knew why he was there.
I think I know who you're talking about. And I was there for an hour, and I got that vibe.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
Hot button bleep, just remember...
Yeah.
Dude, that party was... It was such a great time, but because of that party, I don't think that many comics should hang out at one time.
Never.
In one place.
Never. Literally never.
So many bad things could have been happening all at one time because we're all just terrible people.
The whole time, people are just letting their, like, what is it called? Like the dark thoughts where it's like, don't let it win.
Intrusive thoughts?
Yeah. But it's like a whole room of that. And people who are just like, it would be funny if I did it, though, right? And then people who are physically like, that would be so funny if you did that right now.
That's what I was about to say. Is the worst part is when you're around normal people and you're a comic, there's so many people to tell you and shoot that idea down. But when you're with comics, it's way funnier to watch your friend do something that's, well, if it's funny, that's one thing. Right. But if it's especially not funny, that's so much funnier.
It's freaking hilarious all of a sudden.
God. And 25 comics in one place. One person says one thing like, I'm going to jump off the roof. 24 people are going, do it.
Dang, do it. And then literally the next day at open mic, people will be like, so I saw this dude jump off the roof the other day, right? And then there's going to be people in the crowd just like, oh, he's making this up. And they'd be like, no, I'm not making it up. Follow me on Instagram at yada, 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 yada.
It's still up. Like, literally. If you follow me right now, you got one more hour to look at it.
It's on my story. Go check right now. It's like you want stuff to happen around you just so you can be like, I can't wait to talk about this tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Because we were both probably not as drunk.
Right.
I don't know that you had a drink there.
I did not. Oh, at a Nikki party? Yeah. Absolutely not. No, I didn't. No.
But
literally.
The whole time I was sitting like outside, I was just thinking like, oh, these poor neighbors. They didn't sign up for this. They didn't sign up for 25 children just getting hammered.
I wish the cops would have showed up.
I know.
I wish the cops would have showed up. They show up to an all-comedian party. We're like, hey, go sit on the couch. We're all going to run 5 minutes by you, okay? And whoever sucks the most, you can take them to jail right now. They would love that. Literally, I wish cops would have showed up. It would have set it off in there.
All right, so Kenny's writing a show. It's called Scared Funny.
It's so freaking funny.
We are rolling, by the way.
Okay, cool. So it's on the air. It's out there in the world.
I'll cut that for you, Kenny.
Yeah. Bleep the name, cut that, but don't cut that story out. We're still going to be talking about the party. But and that being said, welcome back to another great episode lined up of the Dingbat District podcast. I cannot wait for this. It's a very good friend of the podcast returning for another time, but this time for his own solo. Y'all make some noise for the very funny Kenny Lee.
I don't know. I don't know why I thought there was going to be an actual noise. I was like, no one cheered.
Do we have a hot button of laughter? Now, here's the fun part with that, because we're not all on one chord that does everything and syncs everything. Is that on the track?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there could just be that I'm watching the video and know a laugh track is coming, and there's none on there, but I remember hearing it.
Like
just
40
silence.
minutes in. Yeah.
Did you just say we're 40 minutes in?
No, you're like waiting. You're like 40 minutes. When the is this laugh going to hit?
Jesus Christ, Blake, you can't say that to me.
This is the last episode. I was like, we're an hour 30. You're like, what the
Yeah. Yeah, that one was bad. I feel bad for Ruth.
I feel bad for Kenny. Kenny had been waiting here.
Nah, but dude, I got here I said I was going to get here at 4. I got here at 1:30. I was waiting on you. No, I'm kidding. No, I got here.
He was hiding in the bushes.
Dude, I got here like 4:02, and I was like parking, and I was like, where do I park? Like, I know for sure this is the house.
I know. Like, for as much as I want people to come here, I have the worst house to have people over.
Yeah, it's just like, where? Like, because you have plenty of driveway.
I got plenty of driveway, but it's all one car length.
Right.
And you might, if you sneeze, you're going to hit either the retaining wall on one side or my house on the other.
Literally.
I hate, like, I have the only house on the block with a driveway that goes into the backyard.
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
pisses me off.
Yeah, they're like, hey, you would love this.
Yeah.
Like, if you love driveways more than you like houses, this is the house for you.
Do you want to feel like a really shitty Batman and drive into your backyard? Yeah, my garage is in my backyard. That fucking pisses me off.
I love to think that, like, when you're leaving the house, you have the GPS on. It's like, yeah, make a right, go for a mile, then you're going to get on the road from there.
It's like the first thing I do when I leave is have to make a 4-point turn.
Dude, backing out your driveway fucking sucks.
It's terrifying, dude.
Yeah.
Like, especially now that I don't have a backup camera.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang.
I'm always worried I'm gonna like run over a sprinkler head or something.
Oh, God.
Yeah, like every single morning, especially when I was an insomniac and I would just get up way too early to go work out in the morning,
Right.
it would just be aggressive 10 and 2. I cannot afford cosmetic repairs on either my home or car.
Oh, my God, dude.
I'm an insurance company's worst nightmare.
Well, that's why I'm like, oh, I ran over a sprinkler head. I'm gonna have to do podcasts for a year just to pay for it.
Don't worry about it. There is a sprinkler system, but it hasn't been turned on in 20 years. It also
Genius.
took me like 6 months ago to find out I had a sprinkler system.
We're in Texas. They don't want you to use those anyway.
I
Yeah,
know. They
so
just want your foundation to up, so you have to
Yeah.
pay someone,
And then you
i.e.
have to-
me, to fix it.
then you have to pay for it. And who do you have to pay for it? Some guy who works under the insurance companies. It's a freaking loop.
It's Paxton.
Yeah.
It's a loop.
Dude, so there are, like, not to get too far into my actual job because it's boring as shit, but there are companies out there that do what I do, but also have the people on staff and on payroll
Right.
that are there to keep checks and balances and making sure these salesmen are doing the right things. So many jobs just come up poorly, and I have to walk into homes and they're like, yeah, you've had foundation work before, but now everything is 10 times worse, and bye. I don't want to touch this fucking nightmare house. Bye.
No, that's crazy. Wait, what do you do?
I sell foundation repair on homes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Okay,
like,
this is
talking
your-
about this is my bread and butter,
Oh,
baby.
shoot,
I'm
my
a
bad.
dirt expert, which makes me feel terrible to say.
I wish you would have said that before. The whole time we're talking about foundation, I'm like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking
Oh,
about.
I was stretching
in
back here, dude.
foundation, Like,
I was back here just stretching, touching my
yeah,
toes, getting ready.
Oh,
You want to know the elasticity rate of fucking Castle Hills? Dude, I wish people were able to punch me in the mouth when I say that.
Nah.
When I say that to a customer, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm the worst person in the world right now. But I'm the only person that understands how to fix your house, so we'll get through this together.
We're gonna make it through this.
I'm just holding your hand like, come on, sweetheart, we can do this.
We got like you're holding their hand. They're like, can I just turn the sprinkler on? You're like, no.
Do you remember that TikTok sound that was just like, and 3, 2, 1, we're gonna go, we gotta go, go, we gotta go, we gotta go.
I love that one. Oh, you know the TikTok sound that like lives in my head? It's the one who's like, come on, let's dance. Let's dance. Y'all don't know that one, dude? That's the best one. In 3 months, that's not gonna be like.
No one's gonna
When
know.
this episode comes out, they're gonna be like, "What are you talking about?" And I
We're
swear,
better
it was
now.
like
This
one
one's
of the
coming out
top.
a month away.
I don't know. You know, like either way, it's barely relevant now, apparently. So it's just
Yeah,
like
I don't know what the you're talking
Never
about.
heard of this TikTok. It was killing 2 months ago. I swear.
So I've got one of those, and I'm gonna make Blake look it up because I need to show everyone how fucking stupid I'm getting as I get older.
Right.
Blake, will you type in specifically TikTok strawberry dog?
Okay.
It's a whole shebang, but it makes me even look stupider once you get. Right now, like I sound like a dumb man for saying all those words together.
Okay.
But then you see what I'm talking about, and it gets so much worse. Wow, we just got really quiet.
Yeah, this is crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm kind of
Okay,
for the
so
answers.
go to the third one, the Pekingese. This one's the best one.
Crazy that you knew what a Pekingese was.
That's what I was
I was
thinking.
just kind of worried.
Okay, and then back this up, Blake, because you need to hear the sound. And then, can I turn the TV up?
I got it.
Oh no, I muted it.
Which brings me to my next point. What do you? How's everything been going,
Dude, it's so bad, but the small joy in life is I walk around and think about all the people that aren't hearing me in my head go,
Right.
oh, look, a strawberry. I've been walking around for 2 days in my head going,
Yeah, probably don't walk around and do that.
shut up.
You end up in a place
Oh,
you do
look,
not
a
want to be.
strawberry.
My worst fear is that like they advance so much in like AI that they're like that they can get to the point where there's what is it called? It was in like Call of Duty, where it's like the chat where people can just hear you if you're close. What is it called?
Oh, proximity
chat, right? And
That's
there's like a
tough.
thing where they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna be able to broadcast your thoughts, right? Like it's something like that.
And
that
then you
would've-
kill somebody and all you hear is
no, you know, and then it's like cuts out, right? You know what I mean? Like, but if they had that like real life, you know what I mean? Like I always thought about like for cars, you know what I mean? When there's like road rage and everything like that, where it's just like, you know how like you're behind like a Prius or something like that, and you're like, go, what? You're like in traffic, there's nowhere to go.
It's like that Shane Gillis bit about driving makes me hungry.
Yeah.
Have you seen that, Blake?
No.
He goes, I'm not racist, but like, you know how when you say you're not hungry and then like 30 minutes you are hungry? Driving makes me hungry. Like sometimes I'm on the road and I'm like, I'm not hungry, and then some cheeseburger cuts me off.
Oh yeah.
The best part of that whole joke is at the end. He goes, for reference, the cheeseburger was a Jewish person.
Oh, Shane is hilarious.
The young bull, bro. We talked about this in the last episode, but I'm so glad that he's around because it was getting to a point where like there were a lot more Dimitri Martin-esque comics that were coming around.
A lot.
And we need the dumb guys around. You need to have dumb comedy to have smart comedy and for them to both work.
Yeah. If you just get smart comics, all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, this is disgusting. I've been on shows like I'm considered like a smart comic in some ways.
Yeah, because you speak well.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I try, at least. And then like I'll say like a dumb joke and I'll be like, that's a dumb joke. Whoever laughed at that, you're dumb. Like I'll literally say that. And but if you do a show where it's like, hey, yeah, these are just a bunch of bright comics, like a bunch of smart people in one show, like back to back, unless it's a crowd that knew what they were getting themselves into, there's like one guy who's at 3 Coors Lights who's just like, this is the worst show I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Like,
and these smart comics are like, one guy's angry and just yells stories at you. The other one is you that just speaks well and fluent.
Yeah.
The other guy is not a smart comic. He just has puns.
Yeah.
You're like, what the
Thought about the English language for far too long. That's all that is.
The thing about Shane too is he's almost like the guy that broke the barrier of like being canceled. Like he was the one guy that like figured out how to just get uncanceled.
Well, he was the first person in Common Eye that figured out how to not get canceled.
Yeah.
The real one is Bill Burr.
Yeah.
People have been trying to cancel Bill Burr since he started.
Literally.
Well, I'm talking like literally this. We're canceling this guy. Don't fucking watch any of it, and then he overcame it.
Well, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like Bill Burr, for years there were Twitter rants where it was like Bill Burr, da 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 da.
Yeah.
Like so many times a day. So first, in case you don't know, Bill Burr is married to a black woman.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, he would say most of his Twitter for many years was just like, Bill Burr, you're a racist. And the only way he got to circumvent that was finally his wife started quoting those tweets and saying, shut the up. Like, that's the only way he got around it. Like, but Bill Burr himself couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
It's like when a kid's getting picked on, you're like, stop calling me gay. You're like, that's just worse. The only thing you can do now is suck a and then it's not funny anymore.
That's crazy. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, we didn't know. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You were cool. You know what I mean? Like,
what you don't know, Kenny, is this last episode we did, he talked about being gay constantly.
That's just Paxton, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's normal.
Once every conversation.
Just come hang out at DCC with us.
Yeah, literally.
If you sit on the porch with us and just wait long enough, I'll go, all right.
Yeah.
I got to say some gay shit.
It could be like closed, no one walking around or anything.
Yeah.
We're playing like Connect 4 or something, and then Paxton's just like,
somebody hold me.
Yeah, literally. Just, oh, look at this guy. Oh my God, he's back.
Titanic me.
Zeus, you coming in, bud? You gonna knock something over? You little Chubbawamba, come here. Come here, daddy's little fat boy. Someone brought this up earlier. I was playing PlayStation or something with my friends, and all they hear is me, come here, little fat boy. And all 4 of my friends at the same time go, see, generational trauma. You're passing it on to your kids. We bullied you for years, so now you're bullying your son.
Now you're looking at this. Yeah.
Like, damn it.
Wait, I forget. So you used to have a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like how much? Like how much did you weigh at one point?
At my heaviest, the last number I saw before actively not looking at the scale was 277.
Oh, that's not too bad. How tall are you?
6'2".
I don't know. I don't know if that's not too bad. I have no idea. I'm not gonna lie to you.
For people that were active at the time, that can be fine. You're just a thick boy.
Right.
But I was just like, I had baby fat still. Like everything just like drooped off my body. Like I looked like I was melting. It was just, you know how Greasy Gordo, like, you know how he's not like stereotypical dad fat.
No,
He just looks like he's melting.
Yeah.
That's what I looked like, but just like if you know how when you put a picture on a Word document and you talk the top,
right.
In relation, I was just smaller.
Oh, okay. No, okay, that's wild. Okay.
Yeah, it was bad.
No, that's pretty terrible.
Dude,
as soon as you said Greasy Gordo, I was like, oh no way. Like,
and not that bad. Like my heart isn't covered in like powdered sugar or anything,
Jeez.
but yeah, like I never had. I was an offensive lineman, so most of my friends all looked like they had livers that were covered in fat because of beer drinking at like 14. They all just had like beer guts. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, what are we had a football coach that would tell us to eat a PB&J and drink a chocolate milk every hour on the hour.
Right.
Just random. How are y'all getting this bad? And why are we all sacrificing? Really, at the time, my whole thing was, why are we sacrificing getting women? It wasn't being healthy.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
It's bad to say, but like I got tired of in my weight class, so I got into a better weight class.
Had to move around a little bit,
Yeah,
you know.
I had to find what I like.
Which brings me to my next point: the party.
The party.
So I think I was talking about this with like Taylor.
Right.
Taylor
P. Follow her on all comedy social medias.
She's everywhere.
Yeah.
MySpace.
That's it.
Yeah, I think she's moving.
She's just
around.
on MySpace.
She's trying to. She's branching out. So we were talking about the party, and we were like, "Oh, this is cool." And I look around, and I'm like, "So, a lot of people here, two women.
I knew exactly.
Two. This is an adult party. This is an adult party with two women." And the thing is, with like Nikki and like Pedro and Scott, like they make a lot of jokes where they're like, "Oh, I'm gay in this joke," you know what I mean? And I'm like, you can't do that when it's like we're at the function.
And I'm not gonna say whose house it was, but that house was regally, classically, very beautiful, like a gay man's home would be.
Yeah,
it was like. And at a certain point, there are two women because even at a gay party, there are going to be women there.
Right. Exactly. At the, you know what I mean? Like
we were trying to get turned. That little Miles Teller wannabe with the mustache really wanted to turn us gay.
Literally, I'm at the party. I'm looking around. I'm like, this has to be a bit. Like, there's no way. This has to be like, there's no way that I'm at this party. There's 25 people here, and you're telling me like the hottest thing here is the pizza that's an hour and a half old. This is crazy.
You didn't see it coming though when we were all eating cake with our hands in the
kitchen? I was like, oh, this is like a real dude party.
It's a high school party 10 years too late. That's what it was.
Taylor goes, Tayller's talking about it, and she goes, there was a grill there and a bunch of men. Nobody got on the grill.
We ordered a pizza.
They ordered one pizza, no paper plates. Very nice home. Not a paper plate.
I don't know what she's
inside.
bitching for. That's her whole demographic, though. She likes those Twinkie boys.
No. Taylor would if Taylor's at the spot and she's looking around, right, and she's like, "Where are the men?" You know what I mean? Like she has that. Her closer is literally about like men have become different things.
And it keeps pissing me off because every time I'm in the room, I'm the one she points at about building furniture. You know exactly what bit you were talking about. And like 3 different locations, including the Coop. Which go check them out at the Coop. They're doing the Florettes do the Coop or something like that. Check Kane and Taylor P's social medias. I'm trying to plug guys, but I just don't pay attention all that much.
Yeah.
But we're there, and she keeps pointing at me for like the second time. And after the show, I'm like, you got to stop pointing at me, Taylor. Like, I'm going to take this personally at some point.
So you're going to go home and just panic build a couch?
You keep making me tell all these poor people I haven't ever built furniture, and I'm going to have to go home and build furniture.
Dude, she's so funny. She posted some kind of video the other day. I laughed so hard.
Was it the deep voice one?
Yeah.
She went viral on TikTok for that.
I saw it. Like, she posted one, and I clicked on the comics to go see it, and it had, not on her, I think I caught it early, but it had 8 likes and no comments at the time, and I clicked on that one, and it had 406,000 likes, not views, likes on TikTok, and it's just her talking with, like, morning voice.
That's all it is, yeah. That's all it is. I called her whenever she put the new one out, and I was like, yo, you just bursted one of my submorphers. You owe me $62. And she goes, why? And I was like, I listened to your video. You owe me $62.
And that brings us into a fun point. But also, while I'm thinking about it, please make sure to go watch the Broccoli Bunches. They keep getting to do things. Kenny, Kane, Peyton, and Taylor, all very good friends of the show, have all been gracious to get to start their own show where it's all 4 of them doing their thing, and it was incredible. I got to go watch it. Was that last week?
That was
at this point.
Last week. Last week. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And it was a fucking great show. Y'all had a bunch of people come out for the time slots y'all had. 7 o'clock on a Sunday is tough.
Kind of tough.
And
usually,
you had a good room.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Solid room, main room.
A very good room, a very active room. Everyone, like, people think bad about silence in a comedy show, but Patrice O'Neal always used to say that means they're just listening.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, silence is a good thing. Once you hear background chatter, that's when you've lost them.
Exactly, yeah.
But y'all had everyone's attention the whole time. You had fucking bust-out laughs. Your fucking pedestrian walking sign bit.
My favorite
It was the first time I got to see it live.
That's my favorite
I
bit
just
right
heard
now.
the lore of
Yeah.
it. And I was so ready for it.
It's my favorite bit. It's literally the dumbest joke. That is the smartest joke. It's every time I do it, I look at people and just judge them and go, "You freaking like this?" You know what I mean? Like, it took me.
It's that joke you were just talking about. Like,
Literally.
that's dumb. You're dumb.
You're dumb. You're dumb. The person holding their belly in their back. You're freaking dumb for this. Like. No, I love that joke. It's my favorite joke.
So, also a part of the Broccoli Bunch presents the Connect Four. Y'all had a shared bit. Do you want to go into talking about like what that was like? Because that was something so impressive. It's
There's
really
a shared
hard.
bit?
Yeah, where all of y'all kind of kept off the same.
No, I'm kidding. No, yeah. No,
It's like I'm not blowing up a spot, am I?
No, absolutely. We did the share bit. That was like the whole thing. So like it was called Connect 4, and I think it was, I don't know if it was me or Peyton, but one of us was like, hey, we should do a bit where we're all connected and everything. Right. Just because like you don't see that often in comedy. I've seen one other group do this, and it's like they don't do it on purpose. They didn't like come together and they were like, hey, we're gonna put this shared bit together.
Right.
Cheyenne and his wife Casey.
Oh yeah.
So they
Katie.
I said Casey. Katie. Oh my God, Katie.
Love you, Katie. And Cheyenne. Sorry about the Nanjahani thing. I still think about it. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God, that's so
I
crazy.
really fucked it up. It was so bad. It's awful. Just the beginning of the episode, I am immediately fucking up his name within 2 minutes.
That's crazy. That
I know.
You do that. Like,
I got Cheyenne right too.
that's so weird because like he literally says he'll be like, yeah, people mess up my name, but he'll be like, it's cool. Like that's how you say it. And I'm like, that's not how you freaking say it. There's like 4 different ways that people say your name, and you say all of them are cool. That's no way that's right. But they do like a bit where they talk about like I think where he's getting a vasectomy, and there's 2 different sides of it.
Right.
And so for us, we were like we weren't even trying to do something like that. I just had only seen it once, and I had thought about it before I even saw it. And I was like, I wonder what that would be like. So we tried it, and then we thought about it. We tried it at open mic. It's about us like robbing a bank, and the 4 different like views on it. Like, Peyton was the driver. Who was it? I think
Taylor was the snitch.
Yes. Well, she was the brains who turned out to be the snitch.
Right.
Kane was originally supposed to be like the muscle. And then I was supposed to be like the face, the talker, or whatever it may be.
Right, okay.
It was supposed to be like that. And it was like, oh, yeah, it would be like Ocean's 11. When we first were coming up to bit, somebody was like, yeah, it's going to be like a 2-3 minute long bit. And I was like, I have like 3 jokes that are that long. There's no way that we got a minute out of it each. Like, but it was just like, it's a cool thing. Because like when we tried it at open mic, we noticed it was like, it almost didn't matter what the joke was.
Right.
By the time the 4th person goes, like the 3rd or 4th person.
It's its own rule of 3s. It's not a third thing, but you get the first time someone brings it up doesn't count as the rule of 3s because it's the first person doing the joke is just doing a joke.
Right.
And then you hear, I think was it Dunkin' Donuts?
Dunkin' Donuts, robbing a Dunkin' Donuts.
You hear Dunkin' Donuts the second time, you're like, huh, they both have Dunkin' Donuts material. Interesting. You hear the third person bring it up, and you're starting to pick it out or figure it out, and then Taylor closed it out, and you're like, all right, that is fucking cool. Because by the end of the show, that's when you realize there was something. Like, you didn't address it at the start of the show that was happening.
No, literally. I think I almost did. Like, I almost went up there and said it, and then, like, once we did it open mic, we were like, oh, this just works. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Wait, you can just go up there and do it. And it's perfect that Taylor went last because, like, at the end, she reveals that she's the one that called the police.
Right.
So, it's, I don't know. It's a cool bit. Like, and it's, like, it's a fun show. I kind of want to do it again because, like, it made us, like, right.
That's exactly what I was about to say. In that there's not a whole lot of opportunities right now that force you to write something new. Like, we have opportunities where you're not forced to write anything, but you're doing new stuff in that it's crowd work, like Stand-Up Roulette with Kinsey Ford at DCC. Which is now also a mic every other Thursday. Go check it out if you're a comic or just like open mic comedy. But there's stuff like that, and then there's kind of like not weekend update. This just happened that Barry Whitewater and Arun run. But other than that, there's like no other thing that makes you all right. I've got this stand up, but I need to write one more thing. And that's what you need to like. That's what I love is when I've gone on shows where I needed to write something down, like not necessarily a roast show because I suck at roasting and I hate it, but I went and did Sean K's roast of.
Right.
That was so much fun.
How was that? That was cool.
It didn't go as well as planned.
Right.
But in the future, if especially like we become this area's just giving us way too many flowers way too early on. But say our clique becomes the thing in Dallas.
Okay.
With all of our friends.
Yeah.
A roast of where people know us would be way more fucking fun than
a
roast battle.
Okay.
Because if everyone gets to know you, it doesn't have to be all just like this guy looks like. I hate this guy looks like because after the second time you're like, all right, say something else.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing.
It's
you're
almost
just calling him a honky at this point.
Everyone does the same thing. It's just like, this guy looks like this, and it's just 8 different iterations of that. Whereas if you're like, yeah, this guy hates a specific breed of dog, and it's like, what? That's really like that's crazy.
And
you know what I mean?
Can't do that at a roast battle because you don't have time to build any context other than as much time as you got for a normal setup punchline setup.
Yeah.
It's too much, and I just hate not necessarily hacky, but corny.
Right.
Corny is, I did it too, because at some point I just go, all right, well, I can't think of anything else. This guy's white. What can I say about white people?
Yeah.
And then every once in a while you go on a roast thing and you're like, I definitely just caught someone using a line they have. I can't, like, he wrote that for one person, realized it stuck, and you're like, okay, I'll use this for every other white person for the end of time.
I watch the Austin roast battle things.
Yeah.
I watch those every once in a while, but like I stopped watching them because a lot of the time I was like, man, you're saying this to this guy, but it's like this would have worked for the 3 comics that went before you.
Exactly.
Like, it's not really that crazy. Like a lot of the time they like find out what they do from work and stuff like that, and they try to incorporate that, but it's not anything crazy. I will say this though, like a lot of like Black people specifically, this happens a lot, and I think we've talked about it before. It was Black people, like when they roast, like in neighborhoods and everything like that, just chopping it up, just having a good time. Like it's literally like just breaking down what you're wearing and just like overdoing. And it's the same thing where it's just like, oh, this is kind of hacky, but it doesn't come off that way just because the way that it's like presented a lot of the time.
It's the same thing with old white people in that campfire stories are the same for Black people as roasting.
Yeah.
That's if you're good at telling a story in like a white familial setting. Like there were so many campfire ghost stories telling family stories of what Paw did and shit like that. Like that's what we did, and that's why I love people like Ron White, and I try and be a storyteller on stage.
Yeah.
And it's funny too because like you notice that at some point you're like, wow, Black people in general are just better at roasting than white people. You're gonna find some outliers for sure, but like as a whole, Black people are just better at it.
They're doing it all the time.
Exactly. It's been just bred in them.
All the time. I'm not even messing with, like, me and my sisters, we would, like, I remember one day, and it was common that this would happen. Like, we'd go to the donut shop. My mom would take us to the donut shop, and the 3 of us would sit in the car.
Right.
And my mom would go in and get the donuts. And in that, like, 5 minutes that my mom would be gone, we're just, like, people watching and roasting people coming out of the donut store. I remember this one lady came out. It was, like, this older woman. And one of my sisters was like, oh, my God, she is so old. Like, and she was like, I wonder if she bought her own casket already. And so, like, we were 8 years old. 8 years old. Like, it's not like a genius thing to say. Like, as an adult, you'd be like, oh, whatever.
But at 8, that's fucking great.
At 8, you're like, oh my God, this is insane. I'm like, and my mom is like gone. So I'm like, my mom has no idea how funny you are. This is crazy. Like, so.
That's so funny, too, because, like, I always find it interesting watching patterns happen, especially subconscious patterns. Like, specifically, we were just talking about, how in like Black communities more people are roasting because that's the thing you do with your friends when you're chopping it up.
Right.
And it's funny too because when you're at an open mic, you hear that every once in a while. Like that's a setup to a thing. You're like, this thing happened between me and my blah blah blah, my sister.
Right.
And I started off with this roast. Like I've heard, I started off with a roast, or I was roasting someone younger than me, and I started off with something kind of lighthearted so I didn't hurt their feelings.
Right.
And then they come back with a heavy hitter. I've heard that set up a billion different times.
Right.
And, like, white people have their shit, too, like yelling at their parents.
Yeah.
That's not something that you'd ever hear a Black comic say is, I yelled at my parents yesterday.
No, you hear that, and then they're just like, and that's how I died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's literally, I've heard that joke so many. That's, like, hacky for, like, Black comics now. For them to be like, yeah, I talked to my mom once like that. I've heard that joke 50 times. I'm not even messing with it. It's funny. But
it's
like,
funny.
It's
and especially if they bring up the dodging the punch.
Yeah.
That's a new added thing, but, like, that's also been done before.
Literally, I think Shaquille O'Neal's All-Star Comedy Jam, 2 comics did the same bit where they're just like,
my mama used to swing on me, and
Yeah,
if I ducked her, that was the worst day of my life.
Oh
Charles
my
Barkley.
God. Oh my God. I love All-Star Comedy Jam was that was it for me.
That's the first time I found like a Def Jam comedy or something like that was such a fucking brand new world. 'Cause
every time.
when I was younger, I watched stand-up, but not as much as I do now. Now
Right.
it's all I fucking feed into.
It's everything.
But when I was younger, it was stuff like a lot of white kids start off with Jeff Dunham.
Mm-hmm.
I remember starting with Jeff Dunham, then going to like Fluffy,
Right.
and then kind of the entry-level people. And right as I was getting past the entry-level people, like, all right, I'm kind of tired of Fluffy.
Right.
I found Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
My dad showed me he showed me the one that everyone
Delirious.
No, that's one everyone loves more, but I think it's Raw.
Raw, yeah.
The purple suit. The purple
yeah.
suit is way better than fucking Delirious.
They put it on YouTube, but it's like they cut out like 15 minutes of it.
Really?
And it's like a weird 15. Like he's in the middle of a joke, and then all of a sudden it just cuts to like the middle of another joke 15 minutes later.
YouTube's been doing that. They Robin Williams, one of his last specials
Right.
he did, he was talking shit about Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And this was like 15 years ago,
Right.
and YouTube cut that.
That's really weird though.
That's one thing too, because they can flag it right before we post it, but
Yeah.
you can flag it and tell us to take it down, and then also auto cut it.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Why the
mhm.
fuck do you have both options?
It seems very weird, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? No disrespect to YouTube. I would love to get paid by you guys at any
Yeah.
point in time.
Hypothetically
he's
speaking,
talking
you're
about.
very 1984 right now, but
Yeah.
only allegedly.
Only
I'm not being
allegedly, yeah.
truthful. And
No, but
we're in a weird fucking place right now. I've been living in a. I mean, Trump just got shot and Joe Biden just dropped out of the race, and I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, I know there's
something else is there, right? Like
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, I don't know what's going on. I was in my car, and then somebody messaged like, "Yo, Joe dropped out of the race,"
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "No way!" Like that's it. This was on Twitter. Like there's no.
Ruth and I were talking about it. She found out on her way here for the first episode.
Yeah.
Blake found out during the episode with me and Ruth because we were talking about it. But, like, I mean, I was talking about it with Ruth before the podcast, so I can bring it up here. Did anyone else notice how the day that Trump got shot, 48 hours after, 7 celebrities died?
Yeah.
Starting with Richard Simmons down to, like, Shannon Doherty, down to there was some other, like, I want to say she was a lady on Baywatch or something.
What?
Yeah.
Which one?
I don't know.
Look it up. No, I'm
the
kidding.
blonde
No.
lady with thick hips with ass you can see from the front, I think. I can't remember.
You're
her
not
name.
talking about the woman.
No.
Not Pam.
Oh, okay.
Not Pam
I
Ann.
was like, no freaking.
Blake, will you just see if you can pull it? Like, just look up celebrities who recently have passed away, because it's like it's a whole Rolodex of people from anywhere from like 55 to 80, which normally that's normal, but also 4 or 5 celebrities dying within 48 hours is sketchy.
Now the question is, what did all of them have in common?
Rich, just being rich and knowing who's
Oh.
on the lowdown of the behind Hollywood scene, I guess, because
Okay,
they're all like entertainment based celebrities too.
Right.
There wasn't like a news anchor that passed away. Either.
Okay,
They were all
okay.
like movie stars and TV personalities.
Wasn't like
Oh, yeah, Bob Newhart.
Bob Newhart. Yeah. I mean, that one makes sense. He's
I don't really-
old
I
as
don't
fuck,
really know
but
him. Yeah.
94. Yeah, Shannon Dorothy.
Not Shannon.
yeah, from 90210.
Yeah, I know.
Naomi Pomeroy. I don't know her, but
I'm
restaurateur. Okay, that's
This guy, I'm not gonna lie to you, he looks like a regular dude to me.
yeah. Richard Simmons. Shout out.
That's
Did you ever
crazy.
see the Richard Simmons one? Whose line is it, anyways?
No.
Oh my gosh,
Is
that might be something we have to pull up next. Shelley Duvall. That's who I was thinking of. I can't remember what she was in, but she's like
Oh,
very
The Shining.
notable. Yeah. The Shining's wife.
Yeah.
Or the wife in The Shining.
She was the
just
wife
passed
of
away.
The Shining?
Yes, she was the wife of the movie.
Okay. That's
like
pretty
Dennis
good.
Rodman, he married himself. She married this movie. She loved it
Yeah.
just so much.
Yeah.
It's like, you know how goth fat white women love Nightmare Before Christmas?
Same me, yeah, for sure, yeah. Well, I do it mostly because the goth women love it, but yeah.
I was waiting
But
for you
hey,
to-
it's fine.
I just watched the JFK movie that Oliver Stone did. That's been labeled the
word?
conspiracy theory movie.
You're going to have to give
which-
me a little more context. I've never even heard of this.
Yeah, watch that movie. It's a 3-hour movie that Oliver Stone made in
Who's-
'92. He did Platoon. He actually served in Vietnam, got out, and then made one of the greatest Vietnam War movies ever. Won an
Isn't
Oscar.
Platoon a comedy?
No, Platoon's a dark war movie.
Wait, I'm
okay.
super
Now I
lost.
definitely need to watch Platoon. This whole time I thought it was a war
No,
comedy.
it's one of the greatest war movies of all time.
Okay.
But he then, after he won that Oscar, he did the JFK movie because there's this whole backstory of this. He was a DA in Louisiana somewhere, and one of the guys that was allegedly like part of the JFK conspiracy, he was in their district. So whenever they brought him in, they found some weird shit that happened like right after the whole Lee Harvey. He had ties to Lee Harvey and all this shit.
No shit.
And the more and more he started looking into shit, the more and more it just started getting weirder and weirder
You're
and
finding
weirder.
paper trails and shit.
Yeah, and it's an insane movie. And that was one of the things is a lot of the people that were close around that assassination, the people that saw the grassy knoll theory, they all died.
Yeah.
Wait, so who is it?
It's about JFK.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, no, who's JFK? No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
That'd be so wild. That'd be so crazy.
Should have back it up.
That one went over my head. I don't know. Nice. That's stupid. That's dumb. You laughed at it. That's terrible. Yeah.
All right, so I think we bring this back, and I think we go watch Richard Simmons on Whose Line Is It Anyways. Blake, have you seen this?
No, I have not.
Do you know what Whose Line Anyways?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Do you know Whose Line?
Of course I love it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Wait, what's the name? Oh my God, he was in the news. Why was he in the news? Oh, is he? He's not gay. It's something else.
Wayne Brady?
Wayne Brady's. It's something else. Polly. What is he?
Oh, yeah. He's
I think it was. I don't know. It trended a little bit last year.
Yeah, he's. I don't think he's polyamorous. I think he's. Was it just bisexual? Was he?
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, I just remember it coming out and people being like, "Whoa,
Whoa, Wayne Brady."
Whoa.
Yeah. All right, it's Wayne Brady. All right, so anyone that doesn't know Whose Line Is It Anyways, it's an improv-based show without being annoying and comics hating it.
Yeah.
It's 4 comics, and Richard Simmons is on one. It's Wayne Brady, that white guy from the Keke Palmer TV show growing up. He was the president of the company.
Love it.
Yes. Yeah. Colin something from 2.5 Men as well. Herb. Okay. Oh, that's who you're talking about. I was talking about this white guy in the suit. That's my bad.
Oh yeah.
The white guy in the suit is from the Keke Palmer TV show.
I know him from the Keke Palmer. Yeah.
Colin Stiles is the other guy who played Herb on.
Ryan Stiles.
Ryan Stiles. Thank you. And then it's Colin Mockery. That's who I was mixing it up. Colin Mockery is fucking hilarious.
He really is like this. That's crazy.
100%. And him being played by Pauly Shore would have been perfect.
Perfect.
And
oh my God.
I'm really not a Pauly Shore fan almost at all, but that would have been amazing.
I think like now, I don't know, because Pauly Shore is like he's slower now. You know what I mean? But like peak would have been perfect for Pauly Shore.
Oh yeah. Blake, will you scrub like a minute in? They do an act out. No, okay. Keep going past this. I think this is just all them dancing because he's a gay man. Okay. So here's what you can do. Blake, go up top, and after all of that, type in jet ski. Yep. So the name of the game that they're playing, they're supposed to be given actions, and 2 people are acting it out, and 2 people are being the props.
That's hilarious.
And Richard Simmons is one of the props, and the whole time he's just hitting on the cast. It's hilarious. Okay, yeah. Go back to the first hump, Blake.
Now that we've gone over the fact that Wayne Brady, now things are starting to line up a little bit.
You know that's Ryan Stiles and Colin Mockery. Like, it has to be Wayne Brady.
Look
Christ.
at like, crazy. This is crazy now.
Live television.
Wayne Brady came out, and now they're like, all right, listen.
Now that Richard's dead, Wayne can come out.
Like that's so crazy. Oh my God.
Oh man, that's so fucking funny. Oh.
Maybe that was the moment for Wayne where he was just like, you know what? 20-something years from now, we're gonna talk about this.
That's where it happened. That's where it all came out for Wayne Brady. Is Richard Simmons just dry humped his fucking unit? Okay, so like, have y'all felt a Mandela effect with Richard Simmons? Because I definitely thought he was already dead. Like
he's been a recluse for like the last 15 years.
I know that now, but like I could have sworn up until the day that I had got the notification that he died that he had been passed away.
Right. No, I don't remember that. But he definitely seems like one of those guys that would be in like Facebook ads where it's like 10 celebrities we wish were not gone anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then like my Meemaw calls me and she's like, "Oh, did you know?
We lost Paul Simon."
Did you know one of the Spider-Man died?" And it's like, "No, what? Which one? Like, who?"
One of the voice actors from 1992.
Yeah, you know,
You're like,
and that's how it'll
"All
be.
right."
Oh my god.
It wasn't even Drake Bell at this point, so who cares?
Who gives a shit, Grandma?
You need to be floating in a box down the river, Grandma.
Oh, God, that's so crazy. Oh my god, that's
It's a
so
line
aggressive.
from SpongeBob.
I don't know that one. No.
Instead of a van down by the river, a box down by the river.
It's plankton, dude. I think that's where I got all my. Oh man, did plankton? Jesus, did plankton raise me? Because that's where the anger is coming from.
That's where it is.
That's where it is.
I can see it now. I can see it. No,
I have to marry a computer.
I mean, we're
Which
pretty
is-
damn close to
I
that
was about to
happening.
say not far. Oh,
Yeah.
what do you guys think about this one? The visas for breeding visas. Have y'all heard about this?
Oh, in like
Oh yeah. In
Greenland.
Japan? Yeah.
Oh, Greenland. Oh, it's in like I thought it was in Asia. Yeah. It's like,
I've heard about there are some in Asia, but there's one in like Greenland or Iceland where they're like paying people $5,000 to come hook up with their 6-foot-tall, blonde, blue-eyed white
Yeah.
women. It's like, oh no,
Why have I not heard?
Nards.
Oh,
Why have I not heard about this?
What?
I don't know, but I'm fucking waiting for my credit card to give me a higher balance so I can buy a plane ticket.
Literally, like they're just like, please come have babies with women, please. And it's just like the whole time I'm like,
Would you like to play a volleyball player?
Oh, God.
No, knowing my luck, I would get the ugliest fucking one, the one that
She's still 6'8", Blake. You don't have to pay for college.
Blake. It's crazy. The child that comes out of that will more than likely be an Olympian. Are we serious?
Yeah,
That's the
especially
whole
with-
point.
Yeah, especially with my genes because I'm 6'3" myself.
Yeah, there we go. What, in the middle, 6'5"?
You are kind of a small man from where I'm from, but it is okay. You look jolly, and you remind me of old St. Nicholas.
Which country of origin is your accent right now?
Right now, it's hopping.
I'm like
It started off German. I'm like, that's not right.
This isn't it. I was the whole time. I was like, I thought you were an Asian lady, and I was like, oh my god, we're canceled. We're done.
I can do one.
No, don't. We got it. No.
I'm pretty good at it.
I practice all the time in the car. Oh man, no, it's just crazy to me, man. Like I got friends that have been single since like high school,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, bro, they're giving them out over here. Like, what are you like? I don't want to hear anybody else being like, yeah, man, I'm sad and lonely. They're
said that,
literally giving them out. What are we talking about?
He
Like,
said that like they're under a chair at an Oprah show. You're
I
like,
do just
and
like,
you get a woman.
you get a whole woman. You get a whole woman.
That's how
you
I
get a
got
whole
Gail.
woman, and you do have to have a child. You have to have a child 100%. Doesn't matter what the child looks like. The child can be ugly. Doesn't matter. You got to have one, and then you got to get out of here. You know, they tell you to leave afterward. This is crazy.
Why are we not all just committing our one-night stands over there?
Do I have to get the child vaccinated?
Once they raise the kids, yeah, that's German again. Damn it.
What are you doing?
I don't know, dude.
What is that?
I can't hit non-powerhouse European people. I just can't do that accent.
You
It
watched
brings-
Beer Fest before this? Like,
Dude, I wish. You want to watch Beer Fest instead of this podcast?
We should watch Beer Fest. No, this brings me back to the party again. Once again, there was 25 comics there, 2 ladies, and there's a breeding thing overseas right now, and there is still mostly men at this party. What are we doing? There's a breeding visa?
Kenny is just walking around saying what I'm about to say here. Mail order brides, they're
No.
back.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Do you want to date Natasha from Russia?
sure.
You know, like,
Yeah, kind of. Actually, yeah.
you know, you'd be on those silly websites where there's like people doing things.
Yeah, those kooky websites.
the kooky ones that one of which is banned in Texas. You know
The
what I
kooky
mean?
website with the big dick pills.
Yeah. And you know how they would have ads and they would be like, "Are you tired of reading at night?" Whatever. You know, they don't say that.
You mean Groupons?
They know their audience. They know their audience isn't reading.
Are Are you tired of laying in the bed looking at your phone?
Are you tired of that break in between the last time you jerked off and now?
It's so specific. It's so specific. Are you tired of Rick and Morty episodes playing in the background? And it's like, how do you know what?
Are you tired of cartoons summer surprisingly turning you on? You don't know why, but do you want to figure it out? We've got cartoons over here too, big guy. Come on.
It's like
$5.99 a month.
that happens, and you like look around the room. And you're like, wait, can you guys see me right now?
I
Like,
am watching Rick and Morty. How did you know that?
it's crazy. Yeah, but then they have
Or
like
it's
an ad, yeah.
these moms are in your area and want to have sex. You're like, I would see this mom. I would notice this mom. If she was a mile and a half away, I would have known.
Now you're getting really fucking specific.
They get
Shut
really
the fuck up. You watch
specific.
stepmom
Oh, I
porn.
know too, but
They get really specific like that, though. They're just like, are you tired of being 5'9", wearing a size 7 shoe, and and doing comedy Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and
Yes,
Thursdays?
yes, I am, ex-hamster.
How do you know it's me? It's so specific.
Speak to me, almighty hamster god.
How do you know it's me? It's crazy. I don't know. I just think those are really crazy. Like, you don't see those on like regular TV, and maybe it's because of what they're
Do
trying
you
to
want
sell
to know
you.
what it is?
What is it?
So in our phones, when we like first start every app,
Mhm.
every app asks you, are you allowed to share photos with this phone
Right,
or this
right,
account?
yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da, all those things. At some point, they ask you about your microphone.
Yeah.
And if you say yes, it can listen. If you say no, you have to go in and do one more thing to turn it off from listening.
Right.
But my uncle does that as a job. Like, he's the reason that you can say something and then a banner ad for that thing from Walmart shows up on your page.
It's like gotten crazier than that, because I know exactly what you're talking about, but it's gotten crazier than that because it's like, I know now that like we can have a conversation like right now, and
Mhm.
I say something that I have not brought up this entire time. I could be like
Moon shoes.
moon shoes, and now it's like if you
It
get on
just
Google,
fucking pops up over there.
not even he types in MO on Google right now, moon shoes would be the second thing on there.
It's bad. It's, and I don't want to be the conspiracy theorist. It's like the other shoe is waiting to drop, and this and
Right.
that and the other,
Right,
and
right.
the government's listening. But they have all these things. There's other shoes about to drop, and the government's listening.
Here's the thing. If it came out today, like if the government was like, hey, we've been listening to everything,
No
like,
one.
what could you do? You know, like literally be like, ah, dang.
Yeah.
Like literally, I'm gonna keep talking the exact same way. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like I'm just not gonna be like, oh, the government's listening. I can no longer talk about the websites that
Right.
you know what I mean? Like,
that's what I was about to say. Going back to porn, I was talking about this with
Wait.
Rudy Ventura. I think you were talking about webkins. I understand. But
right.
I'm going
yeah,
back to
yeah,
porn.
Thank you.
he's taking it up a step.
Yeah. Webkins porn, actually.
Oh God, that's so crazy because that's a
no,
real thing. Blake, go ahead and get on now.
Don't put this on. But
Blake, go
actually,
and-
Kenny's gonna regret saying that out loud because now I need to know if it's a thing.
Dude, I'm not looking that up.
It's a cartoon. You can't
Blake,
get in trouble. Please look
Blake,
this
it's
up.
not
I
like
have
the
to know if
government's
it's a thing.
listening to us. There's no way.
They've been listening the whole time.
The whole time.
Webkins porn.
Blake, the government has heard our archives. We're fucked.
Wait,
Just go
Blake,
ahead and look it up.
Blake, go to incognito. What are you doing? Oh my God.
Come on, don't fuck
Have
it up.
some class. What
Jesus
are you doing?
Christ, Blake.
Jeez.
A
I
little
mean, I don't
decorum,
care
would
that
ya?
much.
But I mean, where was I going with that?
I'm kind of
Oh,
scared.
I was talking to Rudy Ventura about, and he was bringing up using proxies to look up porn back in the day, and using VPNs now. It's a thing. How is that a fucking thing? How is that a fucking thing? I don't click on it, but I
Oh, I
needed to see
know.
that there was a hyperlink.
Well, hold on.
Well, we can't. It's on Pornhub. I know. Rule 3. Don't
Cocker Spaniel Webkins porn video.
don't click on that one. Don't.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not
you know
clicking
what?
on
Yeah.
The
any
fact
of
that it
these.
says specifically
Yeah.
Cocker Spaniel makes me think it's a real dog, and they're saying Webkins to get away with it from the bestiality freaks.
I'm kind of terrified already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm real sad now. Now having known that that's a thing.
we gotta stop looking stuff up, man.
You guys remember Omegle back in the day?
Yes,
Yeah,
dude. I spent too
yeah.
much time. Oh my God! Holy shit! I'm not gonna say his name because it'll out him. But I just forgot this happened till right now. Have you ever found your friend accidentally in an Omegle group chat?
No.
Okay. Holy shit. So that used to be the thing back in the day is I would have my very good friend over. We were on the same baseball team just so he can remember that it's him because I'm not alone in this. You did this too, buddy. I'm not going to say his name. But we were on Omegle one night just like doing the standard terrible thing. And I'm going to be honest and say I'm a bad person. But when you got on Omegle at my age, all you would do was get into a chat room and type ASF. Age, sex.
Fuck.
Oh, no, ASL. Age, sex, location.
American
Age, sex,
Sign
location.
Language. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I said first. Like, I'm actually in ASL. This is a problem. But no, like, you would go through, type in ASL, and just trying to find a horny chick because you're 12 and that's how you do it.
Right.
You're like just trying everything. And you're like, the next step is you get them to Kick. If you remember KIK, that
I remember
app.
Kick. Yeah.
It used to. It's WhatsApp, I think. But that was the fucking rundown. Is you went ASL, get them to Kick, and you were trying to see some titties, and me and my buddy went through this for hours because we were horny teenagers.
You're
Exactly
really
what
to
you were
figure it
doing.
out.
Yeah. And by the end of it, we both had turned to each other at one point and go, she's staying in the chat. She's staying in the message. She's not leaving. It's a real girl, and she's staying in the group chat. Oh, my God, I'm going to get to see titties. And, like, 30 minutes past that, we're still, like, texting back and forth. And then I think I had mistyped.
Right.
And I said, oh, no, I mistyped. She's going to think I'm a fucking idiot. To my friend, just kind of making a joke. And he goes, she just mistyped. She just said YKO. And I go, oh, instead of you. I was like, I did YKO.
YKO.
Like, because my fat thumb just missed the O instead of... Oh, no. YKU. Excuse me. I was trying to type in YOW. And then it came out YKW.
Okay.
Not WU. Jesus H. I'm losing
I feel like
my
I don't know
damn
what
mind.
any of this means, though. You know what I mean? I'm trying to piece it
You-
together.
It means that I was trying to sext up my good friend who was sitting right next to me.
Oh, no.
In my
Okay.
upstairs playroom.
Oh, no.
Yeah. We got pretty close, and he did have tits at the time, and so did I. So it would have came around, but
So, Kenny, this is how fat white kids used to look up porn back in the day.
Okay, yeah, because
no, we just looked up porn.
I'm
We
not
just wanted
gonna-
to see if we can get our own tits.
not gonna lie to you, I was on like a PS2 or something.
You were roasting
like that.
people out on the streets?
I'm not even. I was like, yeah, I was definitely playing video games and roasting people on the street. We were racing the streets and stuff like that, but like, nah, man.
Not in my household. We were looking up Miley Cyrus nude. Miley Cyrus boobs.
I remember those. Yeah. No, I didn't do that. I actually never did like Omegle or anything.
Really?
No, never did Omegle.
You're not a perv. That's
not a
that's such
perv.
sad. It's
Still-
really odd when you meet a comic who's not a perv. Good
Yeah,
job, buddy.
No, you know, I'm trying my best out here.
Trying my best out in these streets.
Yeah, it's tough. No, I've never done that one. Some of them were like pretty like wild. Like I mean, let's see. I think the loosest one that I ever got on in terms of like okay, something crazy could pop up like at any moment in time, was like, no, I never did like video stuff. Like like the dating apps. Like I've tried like every dating app.
I don't even FaceTime now.
What?
I don't even FaceTime now.
No,
'cause it's, like
yeah.
I'll never video anything.
Dude, it's like literally everything's everywhere. They got everything. You know what I mean? They know what you look like at every second of the day.
Right.
Yada. That's why I'd be putting fits on because you know what I mean? Like, because they're like, oh shoot,
They're gonna see.
they're gonna see me. You know what I mean? Like,
It's like that fit you wore to the first episode.
yeah, exactly.
I think about that Red Dragon T-shirt all the time.
dude, Kane came up
Or
to
not
me.
T-shirt, but
The
button
button down.
Yeah.
Kane came up to me, and he was like, "Yeah, I watched y'all's episode. Nathan was hilarious." And I was like, "I was on the show too." And he was like, "Yeah, dude, Nathan's funny." Like,
I was just for a little behind the curtain. If anyone watched that episode, first thing, go back and watch that episode. It was very fun, very funny. But I was the whole day trying to think of a bit to write up for Feet and Friends.
yeah,
Just the whole day. It was like, there's got to be something I could do.
That's got to be like right there too.
Now, yeah.
How could you not?
Well, I was trying to figure out like how I would make a website really quickly for Feet and Friends for Kenny and give it to him during the show.
I mean,
Like, you know when you buy someone a star or an
yeah,
animal in Africa?
Yeah.
Just giving him...
Go, Daddy.
Yeah, but I didn't want to. That was the problem.
Okay.
It was a great idea, but I'm an ideas man. You're my do man. My do boy.
Every time he comes up with something on the show, he's like, "I gotta work on this now, dude." Like,
Do you know how many times I've told people coming on, they're like, oh, we'll have this whole bit planned out, da-da-da-da, and they get here, I'm like, we're just going to talk. Fuck the
yeah,
bit.
I'm just gonna go right through it. Yeah.
If it's Blake not making, or if it's not Blake making mug shotties, The game's not
It's
happening.
done. Like,
And
I
was
tried
not-
one time and it was Bean Boozled and I got bullied out of it.
Did you see that whole shit, Kenny?
No.
He tried to do Bean Boozle with Miles and
yeah,
Jamie.
I heard about this one though. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
I
already
was-
a crazy episode because it's Miles and Jamie, and I'm like, no, they have too much together already.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, and I didn't talk a whole lot, and I just got bullied for a little bit. My mom said she was embarrassed to watch it, but it's all
Your
a whole
mom
thing.
watches every episode.
Yeah, dude, and I keep begging her not to. Mom,
That's
stop
wild.
it.
That's so crazy.
I just talked about porn for like 12 minutes.
What?
Please stop, Wendy.
Just him though, not me.
The
But yeah,
funniest part whenever I was editing that episode was when you were bringing out the Bean Boozle and Miles looks at it, he's like, what the fuck are we doing?
It was such a genuine reaction. It's so like the
He's
game.
like, I'm not eating one of those.
Well, I thought if I made a deterrent to the game that actually played and not have to do the deterrent, not thinking they can just bully me out of it because I'm very peer pressurable.
right.
But it was supposed to be like the Newlywed Game where you just we all come up with a question, and if you're a good friend, you listen and remember the thing about it.
Right.
Like one of mine was what position did I play in baseball?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
just kind of simple stuff. And if you got it wrong or if it was guessed correctly, the guy that pitched the question would eat the Bean Boozled.
Right.
And then after the first Bean Boozled, we all just quit and just kept playing the game.
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we just
That
gave up so fast.
That sounds chaotic. It's like, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I forced a break at some point because I needed like a breather.
I can't do this, guys. No.
Jamie keeps yelling at Blake, and I'm getting like it's like it just reminds me of fights at home.
No, this
I
is
just-
my trauma's coming back.
I look like
please.
Shady when someone new walks into the room. I just stand there still, just wide
Oh God.
eyed, just ready for something to go down.
Oh man, I have this idea for a show. Actually, it's a game show that I would want to do. It's a fun one. You tell me if it's a good one. Blake, you don't do comedy, but you're a comedy guy,
Connoisseur.
connoisseur. you
He's
know
an
what I mean?
informal comedian. He doesn't do stand up, but like there is for frat parties, you're an informal comedian.
Right. At the $1 million game show
Right.
idea for comedians.
For comedians.
Okay, so you ever played Mario Kart? You've played Mario Kart. You know how it is. Rules in Mario Kart. It's like, okay, you're playing a Mario Kart race. You have a beer. You cannot finish the race until you finish your beer. You can't drink and drive at the same time. Okay, so I want to
The
do
way to win the game is just shotgun your beer at first because you're an alcoholic, and then beat everyone before the alcohol hits.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's the only way to do it.
It's the only
right?
way to win.
So I want to do like this thing. It's kind of similar, kind of. So I have 4 comedians that go up. Each of them has a beer. First to finish their beer wins. The only way that you can drink your beer is while the crowd is laughing at your joke. You're doing a 5-minute set.
Ooh.
So like you do a joke. If you get a good pop out of it, boom, shoot that thing back. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you only get a 5-minute set. So you basically get 5 minutes to finish your whole beer, and you got to get them laughing in order to do it. And at the end, you just kind of like have a little. I don't know,
what's
thing.
the deterrent if you don't finish your beer?
Oh,
do you have one yet?
So like I say for 5 minutes, like you do your 5-minute set. If you don't finish your beer, you just have to hold it, or you get a new one, whatever it may be. But usually within that 5, I would assume someone would finish their beer in that 5.
Right.
But let's say they don't.
Right.
I don't know what to do next. I know that I would want to do like, so it's 5-minute sets, and then I would want to do like a 10-minute panel, which is just like having a conversation with the crowd. What is it called? Bumping mics, maybe it is. Or something
Right.
Like that. Where it's just kind of like maybe they're throwing something out, and you're just kind of doing crowd work, and you still can only drink whenever you get last.
So I think for this to work, this is a fucking brilliant idea.
Yeah.
But I think for this to work, you got to do it by like seasons, because I
Yeah.
think what you do is in that situation, you would have to kick the person that doesn't finish their beer off the roster so they
Right.
don't win.
Yeah.
But to get the people slotted in like seating for tournament style,
Yeah.
it'd be the person in first place is the first person to finish their beer. So
Yeah.
if someone kills with their first joke, chug it, they're already done. They win.
That's genius. Yeah.
They basically get like the bye week if there's an odd number of comics or something.
I like that.
And then you go into the next bit, which we might need to talk about this because I have an idea for not a game show,
Mhm.
but a game
a game
that would work for this. And we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
even pitch it on here because Blake, I'd love your props as well.
Well, it's like back when you were talking about the Connect 4 stuff. It
Yeah.
really forces you to write.
It
It forces you to write
I like that's what I
5
do.
minutes of just killer material.
You have to have good stuff. Like if you
Mhm.
go up there and you do like, oh, my best stuff didn't work. It's like, well, yeah, you're gonna be thirsty then. I don't know. What
yeah,
to
you
tell
can't just
you know?
wait for your closer to hit at the end because you know it pops.
It doesn't work. You
Yep.
have to have like stuff that's consistent the whole way through. I don't know. I think it's a freaking cool idea. And the crazy part is I don't even drink like that.
Right.
So it's just like the whole time it's like, man, that sucks for you guys.
Well,
You know what I
also
mean?
at the worst of it, if you don't drink like that, you're just getting a beer or
Yeah.
something like
That's
a White Claw
that's the
or
best
something.
part about it. Is just like if you don't drink, you're not. It's not like you're about to get hammered. You know what I
And
mean?
the whole crowd has the illusion of like, oh, this guy's about to get fucked up because it's a losing thing.
Right.
It's not because you're gonna get hammered. It's because you lost.
It's perfect. I think it's a good idea. I want to try that at DCC, but like they are
They're not for intoxication stuff because I have a show
mm-hmm.
that I'm gonna do at the end of or the very beginning of November through DCC.
Yeah.
Woo woo.
Mm-hmm.
And I pitched an intoxication show to him too, and it was supposed to be like bingo related and also kind of helping comics get out of their tics. Like the bingo card was going to be filled up with not only familiar drunk antics, like if someone got drunk on stage and burped, that was a bingo spot.
Right.
But it was also filled with like stereotypical comic things.
Right.
Like the one that I pitched off the top of my head was if a comic started a story with has this ever happened to you?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a spot. And oh man, I was talking with Natalie, Jamie's now wife. Congratulations, guys! They watch all the
Fuck you,
episodes, so
Jamie.
thank you.
Oh,
Fuck.
dang. I don't know.
They have a
Not
few.
Natalie. I
Jesus.
like Natalie.
Oh my
Say good job to Natalie.
Yeah. Good job, Nat.
Please,
Fuck you, Jamie.
please keep him under check because if you don't, Jamie's gonna be a fucking animal.
Jamie.
We need Natalie around. They're twin flames.
Yeah,
They're
it's
yin and
hilarious.
yangs.
Needed, necessary. Yeah.
But she had like the last piece in it, in that there was something to do with the comic losing somehow.
Yeah.
Like if someone got a bingo during their set, this is where we hit the problem. Is at a certain point, I just came up with every idea in that, the first person to get bingo not only makes the comic do something bad, but also would get like a $10 bar tab or something.
Right, yeah.
Just to get people paying attention, so they're playing off the card, so they're watching these people, but also get people to boost drink sales and shit like that. So we have both facets coming in, and I just can't remember how the tournament or the game ended to it, but if
Everybody dies.
yeah.
Dang, I hope
There you
not
go.
everybody dies.
All right, J. Cole, Jesus Christ.
That'd be so wild. Just, could you imagine like a Mortal Kombat meets stand-up comedy tournament? It's so great. You guys are going head-to-head in this roast battle. Loser dies. Like,
So I thought about that too.
that's so great.
Because this was when I was only a Noah Sharkite, and I
Yeah.
could do a little more heinous shit with Noah, but I wanted to do a roast battle where each time it was like one joke was one round.
Yeah.
And each time one person won, that winner would get to slap one time like
I love
Slap
that.
League
I love that.
the other comic.
I love that.
So it'd be all the grittiest and grimiest roast
love
battle
that.
comics smacking the fuck out of each
Oh
other.
my God! Could you imagine some pale-skinned comic who literally has been doing it for maybe 2 weeks, going up there with just like a red handprint on their face, like
Cletus, you have to close your hand. You have to open your hand, dickhead. You can't punch him in the face.
literally just like a huge red, and he's like going up there and he's like, so so autism is, and it's like, oh my God, like this is crazy, bro.
He looks like he
oh-
shops at the Gap. I don't know. He smacked my joke out of me.
Oh my God, bro, that's crazy to me. I don't know. I don't know. I like game shows for like comedy. I really do. Like I mean, Whose Line is a game show,
Right.
Like a lot of people like if you
It's a
look
game
up
show
these-
with no points at the end. That's
No
what Drew
points.
Carey brings up every time. It's like it's all imaginary points, and I decide who wins at the end of the day.
So I saw a YouTube video, and I think Wayne Brady was the winner of everything. But I saw a YouTube video, and it was like all of the points. This is like the point totals. If you like assigned actual points, whenever Drew Carey said points for, and all this stuff.
Right.
If you actually assign those points, this is what the totals would be. And I was like, first off, that's an insane amount that you had to watch. The show was on
just
for
some
so
crazy
long.
person.
But like I think Wayne Brady ended up being like the winner, like by a good amount of the whole thing. But most of the time, like everybody gets points. Like it was pretty rare that he was like no points. Like it was
Right.
pretty rare. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So-
there's that. And as much as this sucks to say, but I've had to address this with some people before, in that in white rooms, black comics can get an easy laugh if they just say the N-word.
most of the time.
Like
But I've also seen the opposite. I've also seen
a
like,
white person kill the crowd by saying the N-word.
No, okay.
I've seen that.
Well, yeah, I've definitely seen that too. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I've definitely seen that too, where somebody, even like people saying that they're going to say it. Like literally, I've seen people go up there.
I'm
and be
gonna
like,
say it.
I'm gonna say it.
Why
And
are you
like-
warning us?
And it's like, oh God,
You're
like,
just
don't do
letting
this.
everyone
Yeah.
have time to stand up and get stretched before
Yeah,
stomping you out.
Literally walking out of the room afterward, like, oh my God. Oh, so I did. What was I gonna say? Well, first off, let me get to this one. I've also seen it where like black comics will go up there and like they'll be having a good set, and then they say the N-word, and then like if it's a white room, like they're uncomfortable afterward, and it's just like
yeah.
you didn't know he had this ability, did you? You know what I mean? Like this is crazy. But I don't know. I've seen some stuff where like we've been a part of a show before where like just one guy can really just send the whole room. I'm not gonna say who it was because I think it was a fun show.
We gotta bleep it because I gotta remember what show we're talking about.
You gonna
now.
bleep it?
Yeah,
I'll
for sure.
I'll bleep it.
For sure, you're gonna bleep
for sure.
it.
Yeah,
Say you
okay.
promise.
Even
I
if you just
promise
give
you.
me the name of the place, I can probably figure out who you're talking about.
I'll bleep it.
So,
Yeah.
And we did that.
That
show.
one was weird. I just had fucking talk about me being gay on the last episode a bunch. Of that episode or that fucking stand-up show, I went full gay. Like
all the way. I'm outside. I'm outside going over my set. First off, the whole thing starts. The opener, one of the openers, he goes up there and he does like 5 to 7 minutes.
Are we talking about the opener or the host?
I'm trying not to specify who it is. I'm trying not to specify who it is
Blake will beep
because
bleep the
I'm
name of
good
the
friends
place
with
at least.
I'm you know what I mean? I try to stay in good footing with everybody. I'm not hating on anyone here.
I agree.
I'm not hating. With that being said, he did 5 to 7, Blake, to start. Of that 5 to 7, 3 or 4 minutes was on 9/11.
Oh Jesus!
It wasn't just a white room. This is like a white, like right-leaning, like
No, it was
Oh
an empty
God!
old, like of the 8
Yeah.
people there, 6 of them were over 60 years old,
And there were of those 6 people, they were all with one comic.
one comic,
The second comic. So
Like, literally.
they stopped paying attention after the second
comic who was doing a guest spot. You know what I mean? And so I'm just like, okay, cool. Let's go and get this thing cracking. He does 3 minutes on 9/11. 3 minutes on 9/11, and then I think he does another one on like I don't know, like 2 other problematic things, and this is the opener, and I'm just like, oh, we're not gonna make it out of here. Like,
Not to interrupt you, but while that's going on, Kenny's outside, but he's also inside watching me struggling to not order nachos, which was one thing. Because I got a fucking talking to from Kenny about how do you not eat before you go on stage. He called me a lunatic. It was also the most genuine you ever been because I stood and it made me laugh.
it wasn't like it's not that he doesn't eat before he goes on stage. Like, oh, okay, so you skip lunch. No, like it's the whole day he didn't eat anything.
Jeez.
And it's like, dude, it's nighttime now. Like
Kenny
like
heard
the-
my stomach growling.
Like, literally, like we're gonna like.
Eat a Cliff Bar, man. Like something.
I get too nervous and I get burpy. Like if I get nervous, I get gassy, and I hope that I'm farting on stage and not burping.
I know a lot of people that don't eat before they go on stage. Like, I mean, like headliners. Like, I've opened for guys like over the weekends who are just like, yeah, I don't eat before I go.
God
on. Like,
forbid I have a beer too. That's even worse.
I sometimes it like backfires on me. I'll have like I only do maybe 2 drinks a night anyway. Every once in a while, I'm like, okay, 9:30 show. It's gonna be a little bit wilder. I gotta loosen up a little bit. I'll have a beer.
Right.
Sometimes that's a good thing. I'll get loosened up to the point where I'm like, oh, I'll even jump in the crowd a little bit.
Right.
Other nights it'll like backfire and I'm like I've messed up one of my jokes, but I like tell the crowd I'm like I messed it up, whatever, and like they're usually fine with
Right.
it. You know what
See, I got to do like at this point, it's specifically tequila for me.
I mean?
I have to do 1 tequila before and during my set, and then
Yeah.
I can have 1 after, and then that's perfect.
You're good.
But
Perfect.
if I do beer, I feel like I can't remember the name of the ant, but the ant from Harry Potter that just swells up to a balloon and floats away.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
just get that gassy.
Yeah, that's
But-
crazy.
While Kenny's also shitting on me not eating, the most attractive woman I've ever seen in my entire life walks in, and this was when I was also still being angry on stage, but I just look at her and go, oh my fucking God. And at that point, that's when I abandoned my material, and then I had to abandon that abandonment of material because as soon as I go on stage, her fucking boyfriend comes from softball practice, and he is the most handsome person I've ever seen. So the whole night, I'm just aggressively hitting on him, and I don't think he ever pieced it together that I'm hitting on him because I'm hitting on him or her. I'm hitting on her vicariously through him because
Yeah.
I'm angry at him for being alive. And I was just so mad. And I was watching Kenny in the back just watch me just hit on this dude.
Blake, I'm outside. I'm outside. He's on stage, dude.
Screaming.
I'm looking at him. Look at this other man in the corner, and he's just like, God dang it, you're freaking handsome, man. Like,
So mad.
I walk in on him, and I'm just like looking at him on stage. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
Are you actually gay?
Like, what's going? Like, this is crazy. And the crazy part is, like, he was it was landing. Just so we're clear, everything's working for him. Like, he's in the biggest pops of the night for a good portion of this. But the whole time, I'm like, you're selling everything that you're worth right now. It was so.
I
crazy.
didn't do any pre-planned joke. I don't think. I
No.
think I started all of them. I don't think I finished a single one.
Right. He would just go back. Like, he would just bail out and be like, "Hey, let me go hit on this dude again real quick."
I gave him a free alcoholic drink, which probably got the host in trouble. I just walked behind her curtain and go, "Here you go, handsome."
Yeah, but literally, he goes, "Oh man, we got some Trulies over here. Don't even worry about it." Boom. And I was like, we can't even have more than 2 of those. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
And then you gave him a Truly of all fucking drinks.
Yeah, I'm gay, dude.
that's so wild.
Oh, I'm so glad someone was there to see that because that was a fucking weird night.
That was wild. And then you went home later that day, and you're like, I really got to talk to myself about this one. This is
I got to dial back up into therapy tomorrow morning.
Go, turn
No,
it all the way in.
Have I ever told you how bad I feel about getting you that spot too?
Which one? Oh no! Like, here's the thing, because like it was like a 20, and I had only done 20 a few times. Right. And it wasn't even that bad. I've done bad shows.
Before you even get to that,
Mhm.
it was. You got to eventually have the first time you have a 20, and you're not going to be gifted a golden crowd for 20 for your first 20 minutes.
Right.
But Jesus H. Christ, that is not what I thought I signed you up for.
I
felt so bad as the guy that tried to get you on.
I thought it was cool. It was a little different, you know what I mean, in many aspects. Like, there's so many things that go into like comedy where it's just like, I think a good crowd is that's a big thing. You can have a bad lineup of comics, but if you have a good crowd, it's a good show.
90% of the time, you cannot blame it on the crowd.
You can't blame it on the crowd.
Sometimes it catches up.
Right. And then there's like The Room, where it's just kind of like, was this room built for comedy? A lot of the time they aren't, because there's comedy shows like everywhere. I literally just posted the other day, I did like comedy in like a hot dog restaurant.
Exactly. A shoe store. I've seen
in
it
a
before.
salon.
There's a Crystalia joke about him doing it in a laundry room. Like,
and that was like,
that's the other thing too, is as much as that show wasn't what I was hoping it was going to be,
right,
we're still so lucky that that's what we had.
Right, you know what I mean?
Because I'm 18 months in at that point.
Yeah.
You're a little over 2 years?
No. I'm about like literally now at 19 months.
Okay, yeah.
So
like, that's the thing, is we need those opportunities to where we can go be bad and it's not a bad thing for us.
Right.
But still, holy shit.
That was tough, dude. Like, and some of them are just like that. And the thing is, I have to go home the next day, right? Like, I'll go home, and like, I'll tell my mom about it. Like, yeah, I had this show yesterday. And she was like, how was it? And I got to be like, yeah, it was cool. You know what I mean? Like, but on the inside, it's like we're talking to each other, and we're just like, this is crazy, right? Like, this is nuts. You know what I mean? But it's like,
is this normal for everyone?
Yeah, everyone's going through this. You tell me Kevin Hart had to perform in a place like that? This is crazy. You know what I mean? So
I made Jimmy Nelson sad on the episode he came on, because I told him what I have to tell myself every time after a show, like whether it goes good or goes bad. As negative as it is to say, I feel like every comic needs to know, like, it's still a marathon, not a sprint.
Legit.
So, like, it's the same thing as having "this too shall pass" in your repertoire of like vernacular, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It takes away from the good things, but it also saves you from the bad things that happen.
Right.
Like, you got to remember, something good will come. Something bad is going to happen too.
Yeah.
You're going to get a terrible show
every time, and it's like it just like depends on how you can kind of roll with that. Because a lot of people I know, like especially guys who are like younger, they'll go up there. I know there's two different types of people who just handle it wrong.
And they take it personally.
They take it very personal. They're just like, man, I bombed. And I'm like, yeah, there's like 8 people on this showcase. 6 of you have bombed, just so we're clear. Like,
yeah, there's 8 people on the showcase and 7 people in the crowd.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, this is, it's not set for it. I promise you, this was not the show that was going to get you a Netflix special.
Right.
But you got to roll with the punches. Now, I know some guys who are the opposite, who go up there and just absolutely poop on stage.
Right.
No.
Or,
poop.
Yeah.
Awful on stage. And then they'll get off and they'll be like, mine was solid. And I'm just like, okay. No. Who told you that? You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
You don't go back and listen, do you?
Well, that's why a lot of people, they don't realize that, like, these, like, bar shows like that, you guys are working on material. Like, you guys have to get those reps in. And a lot of people don't realize that. Like, when I went to that show that Ruth headlined.
The Denton Comedy Spot at Graffiti Pasta. Shout out. Go follow them. Go to their shows. Great place.
I brought 2 of my best friends with me. I'm like, hey, guys, this is a great show. We paid a couple bucks to get to it. But, these guys might be working on material. So don't be let down if it's, not everything you wanted. And it wasn't like you.
And a killer lineup, you said, too, right?
Yeah, killer fucking show.
That's awesome, too. Yeah. And sometimes this comes as a backhanded compliment, but it's not coming from me this way. I think it's really good that we have opportunities for all female lineups to happen.
Yeah.
It's really good that they're still getting work without just being the token lady on the lineup, because that sucks too.
That's terrible.
And I think about it too because I've been lucky enough to help Jacob Marshall start booking some shows at Fort Brewery. We got one coming up in October, September. I'm really bad at promoting. I'm sorry about that. But please pay attention and follow me on Instagram. But I even find myself like, I need a token lady. And then I catch myself saying that. I'm like, that sucks. As bad as it sounds, I want to be able to have an all-dude lineup because I don't want them to be dudes. I want them to be funny comics.
Right, yeah.
And I want to be able to, like, correctly say, I want these 3 women with these 3 men, and it's not because they're women.
Right.
Like, that obviously comes, and I have our friends, Taylor, Peyton, Brooke Jefferson, Kinsey Ford. They're all very funny to me. I find them, and I trust them. But after that, there's just... We were talking about it at the party, and in general about the party now. Like at that party, it's about 8 male comics to 1 female comic in the scene. The ratio's so bad.
So crazy.
And it's because of the fucking people that are just allowed to be in the scene and cause terror.
Literally, and like so we were talking about it, right? We went over it because Dallas is it's unique in this way. Like the Dallas scene, the people that are booking and like owning clubs and like running things, it's a lot of women ran. Like it really is in terms of like
Christ
booking.
too, because we need the nurturing spirit, but we also need nightlife women that are cunty too.
Right.
Like you need a little bit of bitch to run a fucking business.
Yeah, like you got to be able to put a little bit of elbow in there. Like let's see, DCC. There's there's a woman that runs it, and the booker as well.
Right.
I don't know if I want to put names out there or anything.
Rosie does a great job. I'll throw it out there.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure, but Rosie, but then there's also like Megan and everything. Plano House of Comedy.
Brittany Goss does a great job.
Books.
And that's a hard clientele base too, because for as much as you want diversity to be everywhere all the time, in Plano, it's just a bunch of whites. It's just a bunch of whites who are well off, so they don't understand a lot of these jokes.
Right.
It's not their fault. They were never poor. Like they were never struggling. Their dad, like Donald Trump said, my dad gave me $1 million loan. They never had to struggle, so they won't understand.
It's very different over there in Plano.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But it is very like lady ran, which I feel like, and that's good because one, I feel like a lot of ladies get opportunities,
right?
And I don't even want to say like, oh, they get opportunities because it's lady ran. It's just with the ratio that it is, and this isn't just like a Texas thing where it's like 8 to 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all over.
It's the field we're in.
You know what I mean? Like you'll very rarely be on a show where it's like, there's 5 ladies on the show and 1 guy. Very like. Unheard of,
right?
Even you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna cause a lot of comics, which sucks, but it's gonna cause a lot of comics to go like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
Every single comic at that point is go, "Oh, I bet the guy booked it."
Yeah, like literally, that's immediately what I would think. I would think, "Oh, he must be the big one."
Yeah, because there's also bookers that aren't in the scene anymore, but used to run shit that way.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
There was one dude that told me straight up. He said, "I don't understand why female comics aren't fucking bookers." Like he was saying that as a business strategy.
A lot of people, I've heard that so many times where I'm just like,
because
oh
they're
my
not
God.
gross,
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah. I was just like, could you imagine a dude being on the other side and just like, hey, what are we doing? Like no dude does that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, not no dude because
I won't say that. Yeah, I won't say that. Yeah, you lost me. Yeah, I got it. I was gonna say, probably more dudes that are like, I can't get booked over there anymore because I tried to do that. You know what I mean?
See,
like,
Kenny's an optimist and a good person, so he doesn't see the grime that I have to see on.
There is evil in the world, isn't there? Yeah. So
is Kenny skipping through a field?
Yeah, literally. Oh yeah. But everything's
that's how
burning.
You found the walking sign position.
Yeah,
you just stopped freeze frame one day.
I actually was in Plano. I was talking to Paul Varghese. One of the goats. Just so we're clear. Paul Varghese is fun because like I don't know if you know who Paul is.
I know the name.
He is he's been in the game for 20-something years.
Okay.
He started here too, right?
He started
He's
here.
Not just like here now.
No, he started here, I believe. One of the big things with Paul, Paul has done so much stuff. But he's not like, oh, let me give you my whole like resume. He's not the type of dude. Like you get cool with him, he tells you like slowly you just pick up on things. Paul was like one of the first Indian comics in the nation. One of the first ones in the nation. So it's just like, he's like, oh yeah, you know that like feather dot joke? He's like, I've done stuff like that. Like I was doing stuff like that. He doesn't do like Indian-based comedy like that anymore because he's like, it's been done. Like I was doing it 15 years ago. And he would be like, he's been on Comedy Central and all that stuff. Paul is great.
I'm glad people like him are around too.
Yeah.
That, like he's not going out and attacking people like I have done for I guess not even stealing, but corny shit.
Yeah.
Because I've been aggressive about it. Like, I've gotten myself taken off of a show, which was probably the best thing for me. But at the time, in the short term, I needed that show, even as bad as it was. But I walked up to one of the dudes on with me, and I said, "Good job, man.
Yeah.
That was corny."
Yeah.
I mean, I allowed him. He doesn't watch, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say his name. He does a lot of jokes about midgets,
Mhm.
and they're all puns like short-tempered, short. He fell up short. He's a small man in a big body or whatever. All this shit.
Yeah.
And like I was coming at it from a perspective of I trust this dude. I've worked around him enough. I'm friendly enough with him. That sounds like we're not even friends. We were friends.
Yeah.
At the time, like we had a relationship, so I felt like I could come to him as a friend and said, "Dude, you're better than that."
Right.
And I've had to tell that to comics recently, and like I don't want to watch your stand-up for 9 times out of 10 because most of our friends will never be funnier than they are off stage.
Right.
Because A, it's either the way it was set up, you can't set up on stage.
Right.
Or B, it was just something in the moment type thing. Like
a lot of it is like, well, you've seen this joke 5 times.
Exactly.
First time you see it, it'll be hilarious.
Right.
Like the 5th time you see it, it's like usually not like too funny. You know
Unless it's put into a situation where it's funny.
All of a sudden, if there's like an extra thing around it. But whereas like when we're just hanging around at the bar or something like that, okay, this is just chatting. You know what I mean? But no, I get that completely. It's just
it's almost like catchphrase comedy.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Catchphrase comedy is not my favorite because a lot of people don't realize, or especially early on, that catchphrase comedy is not using the same kind of punchline for the same jokes, but different jokes.
Yeah.
It's like if you get the rule of threes working on a catchphrase working correctly, like basically to an extent the Connect Four joke.
Right.
That funnels out, but in your first year, it's shit like I got to figure out A, what's corny and not shit that my dad just told me.
Right.
Because I've had that too.
Everyone's done that.
Yeah, you figure out that your dad's not the funniest person on the earth. He didn't come up with it. His dad told him that.
Yeah.
Or fucking, what was the big one? Oh, for a long time, an old friend of mine told me a Norm joke, and he didn't ever preface that it was a Norm Macdonald joke.
Right.
And I thought he was the greatest and funniest person of all time until my dad told me the Norm joke.
Yeah. No,
you fucking thief! You stole that from my friend Dave.
Dude, I have this one friend, Brian, who told me a joke, and he's like, "I got one for you, huh?"
The Brian?
No.
Okay.
He's not a comic.
Okay.
He plays Ultimate Frisbee in Houston now. I hope he's watching this.
Feet and friends.
It's crazy. No, so like he tells me a joke, and I can't remember who the original person is. All I know is I found it eventually. He tells me this joke. He's like, "You can have this," and it's not even my style. I hate.
Isn't that amazing?
When people who aren't comics come up to me and they're like,
"Put this in your little skit."
I got one for you, and it's just
now
like,
I want to hurt myself. So thank you for that.
It's like it'll be like the most vulgar joke, and I'm like, "Have you ever seen me go up?" You know what I mean? Like, yeah, just so we're clear, I can't use this at the church show I have coming up. You know what I mean? Like, but like he did this one joke. He told me, he goes, "You can have this. I want you to know that." He goes, "You know how they say, people with big feet have big junk. So what about like clowns, you know, like," and that was like the premise for it. And I was like, I can work with this. I can work with it. I know what to do with it. Because then you can think about like how people with big trucks have small ones, and you can be like, oh, they have such a small car. And I'm literally like weaving it together. I'm like, yo, this might be the greatest joke ever written in like by men, you know. And then I get on Reddit and I see this exact bit from 4 years ago, and I was like, "Oh, you almost got me kicked out of the industry."
Right.
I literally never listened to someone else.
Have you ever caught someone?
What? With something from the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you outspoken about it? Because I've done it twice now, and one I was and one I wasn't, and both times I feel bad at.
The one time that I've only caught someone once, and it wasn't like a showcase. It was at an open mic, and at the open mic, it was like you could see like several comments just go, you know what I mean? Like, because we all know. You know what I mean? It was like this Twitter post. What was it?
Oh, that's the worst. They're not even stealing it from another fucking comic accidentally. It's from Twitter.
It's from Twitter, which a lot of the time I've seen people who were just kind of like, well, yeah, that isn't exactly what was on Twitter, but, you know, it could be. Like, they could have met it on there.
And, you know, even if you have another minute after that, I guess that's fine because you can only have so many things, but fucking...
There's so much on there, though. Like, there's so much. Like, literally people are writing things right now on
Millions
Twitter that
of
are just
people
hilarious.
every day are writing more than one post.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So it's just like there's a lot on there. So if it's like, okay, your stuff kind of intertwines with like, If it's word for word the same thing for a long post, then I'm like, okay, this is ripped. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But a lot of the time, I give a little bit of, I give a little bit of leeway where I'm just like, maybe you wrote this yourself. You know what I mean? But
there was I've had it happen twice, and one time I spoke out, and one time I didn't. The
Mhm.
one time I spoke out, I definitely at least should have waited because it was when I was helping Jamie co-host, so I had a microphone, and I said what I said during his set, right after he said it,
right.
over the God mic. So I not only was aggressively telling him he stole my joke.
Oh, I would have spoke up about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't regret speaking up. I just wish I did it more professionally.
Yeah.
Because I've also caught this same person stealing another comic's joke who actually does like 3-2-5s and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's very different. He's
Yeah.
actually a working comic, not stealing my jokes that didn't work the first time I did them either. But I said it over the God mic, and it was aggressive, and he's hated me ever since. He's not a big threat to be hated by. Doesn't get anything, but
Right.
still, it makes me like, fuck me. I should have done better.
I don't care who it is, man. Like if I'm like my stuff is like signature. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like how I see it.
I
It's
can
just-
hear your voice in someone else's
You know what I mean?
voice.
Like
Yeah.
I literally like I write my jokes and I'll be like, now if someone else did this, would it still be funny? And
Right.
a lot of times, to be honest with you, I kind of hope it is. But a lot of the time I'm like, no, I think it's like delivery is a factor.
Dude, Dave Attell, he would when he would bring openers on the road, and I think it was a Bert Kreischer story first.
Yeah.
But Bert Kreischer was like, "Hey, I have this joke that's kind of similar to yours, but it's just the premise. I take it my own different way."
Right.
And Dave Attell, without skipping a beat, still smoking a cigarette, goes, "I don't care if you take my jokes, just don't take my cadence."
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing.
Like your cadence is your own.
That's literally signature. If someone has a similar, so that's what sucks. Me and Paul, we have a similar.
Varghese.
Yeah, Varghese. It's a different cadence, but like I've been told several times, like, oh, you're kind of like Paul. Like they'll say that. Like I've heard that several times. And then I finally see Paul on stage, and like it was like one of his shows. He was headlining DCC. I'm watching for like 10 minutes, and I literally just look at Peyton. I think was next to me, and I just look at him and I go, "Dang it!" Like we are the exact same. Like literally, it's different jokes, completely different jokes.
Yep.
But like. In terms of like a lot of the stuff that he was doing, I was like, I do a lot of similar stuff. And I'd never met him, so I didn't rip it from him or anything. But it was similar styling. Like, but then we did a show together, and you could easily tell the difference. So I felt good about that.
I've done that too, because like especially my first year,
Yeah.
I was more subconsciously, and then at the very beginning, I was more actively doing so.
Yeah.
But I was definitely ripping off Tom's cadence.
Yeah, and a lot of people do that where it's just kind of. I've noticed the thing that
It's also easy to rip off because it's kind of not a cadence in
Yeah.
and of itself,
It's
but
not
it is.
super unique. You
Right.
know what I mean? I've noticed that I do a thing now that I definitely wasn't doing before when I first started. But I like hold the mic like
Because of Shane Gillis.
Because of
Every
Shane,
dude does
and that
it
makes
now.
me so mad. And I'm like, dude, like I'll catch myself doing it. And I'll be like, put one hand down. But then I'll put one hand down, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this hand now? I put it in my pocket. But I like talk with my hand a lot too. Like literally any photo of me on stage, like if someone had a camera, I'm like this. Like
I'm
all the
always
time.
pointing. I'm always pointing
But
in
like-
every picture I get, especially from Denton Comedy Spot.
Exactly.
Specifically. I don't know what it is, but I'm always pointing.
I'll do that, but then like when I'm on stage and I'm like actively, I'm like this, and I'm like, dude, I don't even talk like this. This is crazy.
And
like,
the worst part about that is there aren't many other fucking things you can do. Like, it's not like a premise for a joke where you can take it in unlimited amount of ways.
right?
I have 5 things I can do with my hands.
Yeah,
Like, put a
I'm
hand on the
thinking-
hip, put a hand on the other hand, up in the air,
I have a
up in
couple
the
of
air. Palm
this-
up, though. Palm up.
This is for the later. This is for the later jokes in the thing. I'm thinking I've been mixing it up. I've been trying to do a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna start putting one hand in my back pocket. You know what I mean?
That's
back
always
bar.
great when you need the joke to seem like you're confused.
Yeah. Just like, what do
You
you
give a
and you
little
just
kick.
hold that for a little bit, and then I go back to two hand. You know what I mean? I don't know. I gotta work on choreography. I'm thinking 10-minute sets where I say nothing. But I just move into different poses the whole time. And then people are just like, this is beautiful. You know what I mean? This is what we came
Why
to
did
see.
we ever need talkie movies? Silent pictures were where it was at.
That almost turns into like a one-man show.
Yeah. God, I hate that. No, I'm like, dang it. Oh, man.
Yeah, you're not alone, because if it's not every male comic doing this right now,
Yeah.
it's every male comic putting their hand on the mic stand like Bill Burr.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you. That I do every once in a while too. Like if I'm at Sharks where I'm like super laid back, I have like a hand on the mic. I might even take the mic out of the stand. Like I'll literally leave it in the stand and just
I'll
rock
pull
back
it
and
around
forth.
like I'm singing like a lead singer of a band.
Yeah,
sometimes.
like literally, I will mess around so much at like Sharks.
The one thing I need to stop doing, because I look like such a dingus when I do it, but I do it all the time, is I'll grab the whole stand and mic while it's in the stand and walk around like that because I'm just taller than
I love that. So that's literally one of my favorites, dude. I saw Barry Whitewater at this show at the hot dog restaurant I did last Thursday. He does one. Barry will take the mic will be in the stand and he'll just lean it over slightly. And so he's standing straight up and the mic is just leaned over and I'm like, he just looks like he doesn't know how to use a mic stand. And it's just funny to me. Like it's hilarious. I don't know.
I have to stop because I did it at a lot of shows too. And then one time it razor scootered me in the shin. And I was like, all right, this is not how I want to start this set.
So now I have to do this next joke gritting like this.
I hope you like comedy through my teeth. That's when you got to do all your angry stuff up top because that's just when it's going to hit.
Is anybody else super pissed off about red lights right now? Like, oh my God, dude. That's fun though.
Blake, where are we at on time? Hour 30? That's good because I'm really starting to melt right now.
Yeah.
So I think with that being said, Kenny, I love having you here, but I'm sweating. I think I need to get you out of here.
I can see it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
You look bad,
It's really
dude.
coming.
Yeah.
I'm starting to I'm sweating through the deodorant I put on this morning.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot. I need to switch back to the white stuff, even though that's what leaves bad prints in your T-shirts. Like when you get the yellow and white stains.
You don't
on your
use
pits.
gel?
I'm back to gel now, but
I love gel.
for the longest time, gel would make me, especially when I was fat, it would make me rash out of my pit because
that's because you're
it being
applying it aggressively. You gotta paint a portrait.
You gotta paint a portrait, but it's also because gel doesn't dry, so like
no.
It just adds to the sweat in there too, and then the whole time the friction is just burning it's weird. Like my whole armpit will be red and it won't hurt or anything. But like eventually it'll look like I got a sunburn because skin is just peeling off. Like there's a very small chance I'm allergic to gel. But
I was gonna say it sounds like you just don't. Yeah, you shouldn't do gel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really wish that like the spray stuff was kick ass, but all that stuff is awful.
Oh, I got to start keeping a can of the deodorant spray in my car. Like
I just do cologne now. I've got extra deodorant sticks in everywhere, but like I keep deodorant in the hot car on purpose because it activates it a little more.
Yeah.
And then you just put it directly here, and then that's enough.
Yeah. See, I've heard about that too. But I'm gonna start putting the deodorant in there.
Kenny, will you please go ahead and plug up your socials because I think I didn't give you time to do it in the beginning.
Oh, shoot.
I'm so sorry.
I'm Kenny Lee. What?
You want to put out all your shows too, and I'll cut.
Shoot.
Yeah. So we're also having it to where Blake can clip you up some shows you've got, so you got a little easy, already made promotional stuff.
Yeah.
We'll
how far out? How far out would you get it out? I guess.
I think this would be a month.
I can get
say
you the clip in like a couple days.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like if you got something this weekend.
This upcoming weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I'm Kenny Lee. You can follow me on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook at KennyLee270. I'm on there. I'm funny. I post clips and stuff. I do clean comedy. You know this, whatever. Despite what we talked about earlier with all the websites and everything. Let's see, man. I have a show. So I'm actually out of town this upcoming weekend. We're in Austin for the first time for
for Kane's birthday.
No,
not yet.
DreamCon. It's a convention.
Oh yeah.
So it's like me, Teddy, Sean Lee, Taylor Weddington.
Yeah.
Performing at the convention out there. Dang, we probably should have talked about that. It's too late. It's fine. But yeah, I'm doing that Friday. I'm in Austin this Friday, July 26th or whatever. That's gonna be a fun show. And then I have a couple of shows with Paul coming up next month. So yeah, just follow me for those, and it's gonna be a good time. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Love Dingbat District. It's been cool being on here again. I gotta get a sticker on this table.
Yeah, we got to get your stickers back out, and I need to be
Yeah.
better about marketing that to all the comics. If they got stickers, I need to get
Yeah.
that. So if for whatever reason a comic is still listening here at the end, please give me your sticker.
Absolutely.
Especially if I know you. If I don't know you, don't make it weird, because I've accidentally put it on the page reaching out to people on DFW comedians for their stickers, and then it just turned into people like bitching that they haven't got on the podcast. I was like, all right, well, we've never once met, so
you haven't said a funny joke yet.
yeah.
You know
Do
what
you
I mean?
really
Like-
want a conversation where I'm just asking you about yourself?
the whole time?
Yeah.
What's your name again? Yeah, like,
Yeah, this isn't Cheyenne. I don't want to fuck up your name again.
oh God.
I know. I'm still so sorry, buddy. Yeah, we do. I love him. He's very funny and he's very calm, which is nice to have.
Hilarious. He's hilarious.
But yeah, follow me on pbailey_comedy on Instagram, Dingbat District Pod on Instagram. I believe it's Dingbat District Pod on TikTok now as well. I sacrificed my TikTok for the page because I don't make any other related content other than for the page. please like and subscribe on the YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. We are on YouTube and Spotify with videos now, and I think we're eventually coming to Rumble, so we don't have to censor everything if you hate that as much as I do. But thank you. Please keep watching, and please keep coming back. Like and subscribe to the channel. Bye.